thanks for what you've done to lead on that issue. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Governor, and thank you again for being here.
Well, thank you, Madam President. It's great to be here back in South Florida. I was like, when we were coming down, I'm like, is Art Basel over? Because that's a zoo. And so they're like, yeah, it's over. I'm like, all right, good. I just want to make sure. Not that the traffic was good, but it would have been even worse. And so I want to thank Jeanette for what she's done for the state and in this new role. She's doing a fantastic job, and FIU is really on the rise, and I'm excited for you guys. We also have Alexis Lambert, our Florida DEP Secretary, Drew Bartlett, South Florida Water Management District Executive Director. I think we have some mayors. Some of the South Florida mayors are down here. Homestead, North Miami Beach, and Miami Beach. You know, we had to work on the spring break a few years ago with Miami Beach. I mean, it was incredible what was going on. So I was like, you know, I told the mayor when he got elected, I said, why don't we just deal with it on the front end instead of having to call us in the middle, the highway patrol, when everything gets out. And I'll tell you, it's worked very well the last couple years. We also have representatives from Mote Marine Lab, Newfound Harbor Marine Institute, the Reef Institute, and the playoff-bound University of Miami Hurricanes. That was, you know, I had to chime in a little bit on that. It was the type of thing where we had 2 years ago, Florida State was undefeated, won the conference, and got excluded from. That was only 4 teams then got excluded. You know, that was a huge issue, and really was a black mark for the whole college, the politics of this. And then so this one, you know, you had kind of Notre Dame, Miami, similar records, but you know, we had a game here, right? And they did that. You know, my son is in 2nd grade. He's all he cares about is Florida State. Well, they're not making it, right? So I was like, well, who do you think should make it? There's 2 slots, Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama. He says, Miami and Notre Dame. I was like, well, why not Alabama? He's like, because 2 years ago, Alabama took Florida State's spot in the playoff, and he's still not over that. So, you know, so we'll see. So I wish them well. You know, we haven't had a team make the playoff for a while. I think Florida State made it the first year of the playoff. The University of Florida's never made it. It's the first time the U's made it. So I wish them all the luck in the world. I think it's very, very exciting for the community down here. We have done a lot, as Jeanette mentioned, on environmental restoration. This was something that a lot of people cared about. There wasn't a lot of momentum behind it, particularly with respect to Everglades and the springs and the Indian River Lagoon and in Biscayne Bay. So we put our money where our mouth is. We set out to do the most ambitious program that the state has ever done. We not only met those expectations and goals, but we've exceeded those expectations and goals. And we are looking at historic support for these restoration projects. We've done things like the C-43 and the C-44 reservoir. We've done our part of the Everglades agricultural area reservoir, and we even did a historic agreement with the Trump administration so that they delegate some of the federal projects to us to complete, since we do it so much quicker in Florida. And so we've broken ground on 2 major projects already, and I don't think those projects would have broken ground for years had we not gotten it. And so now, because of that agreement with the Trump administration, the completion date on all of the EAA south of the lake infrastructure is now moved forward 5 years. So under Biden, it was going to be 2034. Now we got it for 2029, and that's going to really be a historic thing. So we have funded more than 1,174 projects across the state designed to reduce harmful nutrients in our waterways, massive reductions in nitrogen and phosphorus each year. We have completed more projects than has ever been completed in this time frame. And I think people look to see what's going on in the Everglades, and they're very, very pleased with really the tangible accomplishments. I mean, you look at Biscayne Bay, you look at the salinity there. It's changed for the positive. Why? Because water's moving down south like God intended, and it's now reaching there. It's a natural filtration system. You need this. You even see the flora and fauna in the Everglades. People are noticing some of the things that they hadn't seen. Hopefully even more as we get more of these pythons out of there. You know, we got huge increase in python removals now this year. So we have a new program, and we're going to keep doing all of that. So we have done major stuff for the Florida Everglades, but we've also done things for water resources writ large, not just simply Everglades, but a whole host of other things. The Indian River Lagoon has been a huge thing. Florida springs. I mean, if you go to different parts of the state, we have the best springs of any place in the country. Major restorations that have been done there. Now, here in South Florida, one of the things we've done that is related, but not the same as Everglades restoration is the reduction or the restoration of Biscayne Bay. And we launched this project, I think in 2021, and after today's award, grant awards, we will have reached $100 million in support for Biscayne Bay restoration. So we will be awarded today we'll be awarding $20 million in grants and aid for the Biscayne Bay water quality improvement projects. These grants will support a total of 8 projects, including 6 new projects and supplemental funding for 2 existing and expanding projects. And the recipients include Miami-Dade County, cities of South Beach, Homestead, and Miami Beach, North Miami Beach Water, and the town of Cutler Bay and Miami Shores Village. So these projects include septic to sewer conversion, wastewater storage projects that will lead to improved water quality of Biscayne Bay. You know, what we've already done has made a difference. I mean, people are very pleased with that, but we're not done, and we're going to continue to do that. And there have been a lot of applications that came, and basically the department selects the ones that are going to have the biggest impact on what we're trying to accomplish. Also today, we're awarding $9.5 million in grants and aid for Florida's Coral Reef Restoration and Recovery Initiative. As the home of the continental U.S.'s only living barrier reef, we have worked very hard to protect this natural treasure. Since 2014, the reef has experienced an outbreak of stony coral tissue loss disease. It's progressed rapidly to affect the entire reef ecosystem. In January 2023, we established through executive order and this initiative aimed at developing the infrastructure, technology, workforce, and logistics necessary to support long-term recovery of Florida's coral reef. So today we'll be funding 11 projects. They were project prioritized and awarded based on impact of scaling up land-based coral infrastructure and capacity. Recipients for this will include Sea Foundry, the Florida Aquarium, iCare Corporation, Moat Marine, Reef Institute, Plant a Million, Corals Foundation, Reef Renewal USA, Newfound Harbor Marine Institute, Fish and Wildlife Foundation of Florida, and higher education institutions like Nova Southeastern, University of Miami, and Florida Atlantic University's Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute. So this will help both the academic and private partners that are doing research to establish, expand, and maintain Florida's in-state coral propagation and grow-out facilities. So I want to thank the folks in the legislature who've been supportive of these initiatives over many, many years. I mean, we started in 2019, and it was a little bit different than the muscle memory that they had been doing in terms of how they handled some of the stuff. And there was a little bit of trepidation, and we were just like, you got to do it. And we had some great champions in the legislature. And then after we did it a year or two, we got a lot of momentum, had huge support through the years. And I think this is something that is really, really meaningful. So, you know, as the state of Florida is reducing taxes on people, as we're paying down, we've done accelerated debt repayment. You know, we now hit reducing our state taxpayer supported debt by 50% just since I've been governor. Out of all 180 years of our history, we've knocked out 50%. We're doing a whole bunch of other things with maximizing the rainy day fund, doing a lot of great stuff. And by the way, our budget's less than the budget of New York City, which only has 8 million people. And that's before Mendami takes over the grocery stores. That's going to cost more. I'm telling you, it's not going to be pretty. But so we've done all that and been very fiscally responsible, and yet we've done historic support for these initiatives for conservation and environment, and we're really showing how it's done. And I'm proud of the folks that have been involved because, you know, the fact that we have the Army Corps and the Secretary of the Army and some of these folks saying, look, we know Florida's faster. We know Florida gets it done. We want to work together. We want to empower you guys. So for them to be block granting the money for those federal projects and we're taking the lead on those, that is a really, really great team effort, and we're making huge, huge progress. So thanks to everybody involved. Alexis, come on up.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, President Nunez and FIU for hosting